Brimstone is back from its film debut with Mark Rober and Dude Perfect. We had a wonderful shoot with it, but now it's back in the garage. And I've got some stuff here I want to do. So I'm going to disassemble it completely, make sure everything on it is functional. If we find anything that's broken, obviously get it all fixed and repaired. At some point in time, we'll probably lose the purple paint they put on and get it back to its normal colors. But we've got future plans for this guy. I've got my own YouTube things that I want to do with it, because there's always cool things you can do with a flamethrower. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to go ahead and disassemble this all completely, make sure everything on it is good and functional, and get it ready to go again for some future uses. These are the covers that I have for the robot. Obviously, the front one had the name Brimstone on it, and that's the one I had Mark and all the dudes from Dude Perfect signed. So that's the one that's in the game room now. This is the original one I made. I made a new front cover for it. None of these were used when they filmed. They made their own top cover for it that had the nail guns and stuff mounted to it. So eventually, I'm probably going to go ahead and paint the front yellow to match this. I don't know. We may come up with all kinds of different paint schemes for it. But for right now, let's just get it apart and see what we got in here. And everything looks visually like it's in pretty good shape. Both drive motors sound good, so there shouldn't be anything mechanically wrong with it there. Doesn't look like any of the fire components have moved. Looks like everything is still mounted down fairly solid. The only immediate thing I see is where this battery box mounts here. I can see that it cracked. Realistically, this is my fault. These pieces were 3D printed, but they were 3D printed out of PETG, which is a fairly strong material, but it's not very flexible. So what I need to do is I'll just need to replace this with a TPU battery box like we've used in the other robots. So that'll be the game plan right now, is to replace that box. Probably pull the other stuff out just to make sure that it all looks usable. But looks like we came out of this relatively undamaged. All right, well, let's get that battery box out. See what we got going on here. Okay. Let's see if I can get that out of there without having to take everything else apart. There we go. Ooh, it's more broken than I was thinking it was. Poor choice of material for that particular part. But at least completely through bolted like this, it wasn't really in any danger the battery's going anywhere. Let's get a new one. So the bolt nuts I'd used before weren't the locking type, and a couple of them were just finger tight. So I'm going to go ahead and be smart this time and go ahead and put on the locking nuts so that we can do it right. Like it's supposed to. Yeah. Everything there looks really good. wiring loom stayed in place. Well, all things considered, came out of that pretty good shape. Of course, I did sort of build this to get tossed around a lot, so shouldn't be too big of a surprise. All right. Eventually, I'll probably 3D print this again in TPU, but for now, I'll probably just throw it back together and so we can test it and see how it's doing. Guess I should put a fuel canister in it so we can test it. Guess we'll throw some batteries in it and make sure it all functions. Batteries like this down to dead. That's not good for them. Okay. And in fact, if you do run lithium polymer batteries down below a certain voltage per cell, you've damaged the chemical in the battery. And so you discharge them too low, and you go to charge them back up, you don't know that you've damaged the battery, but you have. And in the process of charging back up, that's when you get fires. Wow. So literally the battery can be on the charger, just charging up. You think everything's good. That's why they make us watch the batteries when we're charging them. Oh, wow. Because, you know, it really is pretty simple and straightforward. But you got to pay attention, okay? Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It is easy to, you know, mess it up. Okay, let's put these cards on. Okay. Down there. This I really don't need covers on. It's not like I'm taking it into battle. Just put a couple in just to hold it in place. Oh, you know what? When I made this new cover, I didn't make a hole in it to turn on the power switch. So we're going to test it with that one off. And all right, let's go test. Okay. LEDs light up like they're supposed to. We're good. Drive motors sound fine. Igniters power up. Little hot surface igniters in there. They power up like they're supposed to. So looks like everything's good. Let's check out a flame here. Come over here. Look how far that flame ball is going. Yeah, I'd call that a successful test.